Hello and welcome to the 2019 edition of Workout Wednesday Walkthrough. I'm Curtis Harris. This is week one. Today we are looking at a new and improved Workout Wednesday website where we get to scroll through fitness tweets on the right-hand side. And we are also looking at an interesting challenge, one that's been pretty visible in the Tableau community since the set actions feature was released. We're looking at a hierarchy of some sorts, a expand one section hierarchy rather than Tableau's customary built-in hierarchies that would expand the full domain of the dimension. And I'm just looking at this and I'm trying to figure it out just by looking at the picture. I think that there's a trick to this. I don't imagine that we're going to find a way to use the data as is to create this hierarchy. And I'll explain what I mean by that later, but I'm not sure we're going to get there without adding to the data in some way, and we'll figure that out along the way. So this is my first attempt at this workout, and I want to walk through it with you guys and see where we can get. So let's scroll down, check out the rules, and see what we can do today. So pretty basic table. If I had to rate this on a difficulty scale just by looking at it, I might call it a 4, maybe a 3, ranging all the way up to potentially a 6, depending on what we have to do to add to the data, if I'm right. So let's see what's going on. Not too many requirements, so it's pretty simple on the surface, which again leads me to believe that there's something weird that we're going to need to do. So we need to create a table that shows sales for category and year. When you click on the category, show the sales by subcategory below it. Use the right arrow and down arrow to indicate when details are showing. And that's pretty much it. Match the row borders and row shading to highlight these values. Okay, so that's probably something weird or else it wouldn't be a requirement. So let's get going on this, and I can walk through why I think this is weird. So let me open up Tableau, and we'll get going. So first things first is I just want to go ahead and create a set off of the category. I know I'm going to need this, so I'm just going to build it and get it over with. I'm going to call this the category set. All I did was right click on the category, said create set, and then I'm just going to give it one of the values. It doesn't matter which one we do right now because we're going to use set actions to override this selection. Set actions is really functioning much like the ever elusive dynamic parameter that people have been wanting for years and years. Set actions is essentially a dynamic parameter. So we have this, we have category, subcategory, or category set. I'm going to go ahead and break this hierarchy because I just don't want it interfering with my work. And I'm going to create a calculated field to dynamically display what we want on the view. So we know we can click on things and we would see category or subcategory. And I don't think this is going to be the right solution, but I just want to show you why it's not. So you may get stuck here trying to build something very similar to what I'm doing right now, and it's not going to work. I know it's not going to work. If it does, I'll be super shocked. So let's see, dynamic dimension. Let's call it something dumb. So we're going to say if the set, if we're in the set, then subcategory, else category, end. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to show category. If the set value is a category or the category that's in the set, then we want to display the subcategory. And for every other thing, we want to display the category. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw this on the view. And we get that look, right? So we have two categories in here somewhere, furniture and office supplies, and the rest is accessories, copiers, furniture, machines, and phones. What I want to highlight, though, is if I put category on the view, you can see that if you were just building a calculation to handle this, you're going to lose the category name. And if we go back to the blog post, we can clearly see that Luke has shown us that he wants the category to be displayed at all times. So if we just build a calculation that has some kind of logic that says show the category or show the subcategory, depending on what we've done, it's not going to fulfill the challenge. So what I think we need to do here is actually just duplicate the data set, essentially. We need to just slap it on top of each other so we can look at things in an aggregate level at the category level and also expand into a detailed level and keep it looking like this. So I'm not sure how the whole set action thing is going to be configured, but I do know that we are going to have to add to the data, and that's something I saw right off the bat is the category is still showing even when the subcategories are showing, and I knew that this was not going to be a table that I could build without extending the data some way. So let's go ahead and just clear out what we did here. I know I'm probably not going to need that dynamic dimension field. I don't know if I'm going to need the category set, but it doesn't hurt to leave it there. Actually, I'm just going to delete it and clear out everything here, just so things look a little cleaner. And all I want to do here is just add to my orders data set. And what I'm going to do is just union it together. So if I drag orders again onto my data source view and just drop it below it, I'll create a duplicate data set, and it gets separated by table name. So if I look at this column that Tableau created, I have two members, I have orders and orders $, which indicates that I'm just working with two sets of data. If I added another one, I'd get another one to that field. If I look at the domain, I'll have another orders, and you can see how that works. So I'm going to go in here and edit my union and just take one of them off. And while we're here, I'm just going to extract this because we'll need to do that when we publish to public anyway. Sure. Okay, so let's see what we're going to have to do. If we look at the image, we have a row here that represents the category. And we have another set of rows that represents the subcategory. So I think what we need to do is trigger the union in and out of view. And I think that's going to be our set action case. So we're going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and make myself an order year just because I don't want to deal with the date hierarchy. So I say year of order date, move that up here. What is going on? That's weird. My category there. What the hell? Okay. Okay, so I have this, and we have sales, and nothing is showing for some reason. Let me just save this and come back in. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, I don't know what was happening there. So no big deal. So we always want one piece in. You can see that these values are duplicated. So this furniture in 2015 is double this value because we're just summing our whole data set, which is wrong. Let's see how the hell we are going to accomplish this. I'm not quite sure. So we want one row that's always here, that's always the summary for category. We need that to happen. We're also going to want to be able to click on the category and send that value to set, I think I need to modify sales here at some point to get the right numbers. And I think that's besides the point. It's not really a big deal yet. We can deal with that later. And I need to add these. So I know I'm going to have to translate the category into a calculation. If I'm looking for breadcrumbs, I can click on these, and I'm not getting an individual column for this character. So I know it's part of the category field, and I need to translate that somehow. So we are going to need a category set. So let's go ahead and do that again. And let's just see if we can piece this together. I can't visualize the entire solution right now. But maybe if we piece it together, we'll get there. So I'll build a category set again and build this. So we're going to say category with mark. So if we're in the category set, then we want that down arrow. So I'm going to copy this, make it easy on myself. Oops, not V. And if we're not in the category set, then we want that arrow. Okay, so this says find the one that's in the set and then display a down arrow with the category, and everyone else don't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this. So we have our down arrow there with technology because we added technology to the set, and that's what we expect to see. So that's good. So that's working. What we also need to do is find out how to get those subcategories. And I'm still not sure how we're going to do that fully, but let's get going on it. So we have technology. This is really hard. So let's think about this a little harder. I'm sorry, you're going to have to bear with me talking, and this is how you can tell I've never done this one before. So I'm going to click on this. It's always going to be there. And it'll show accessories, copiers, machines, phones. I think we need to build a set for this table name to get that in and out like we talked about. So we call this the union set. Maybe. And the thing is, this is all one field as far as I can tell. And I think this is all just one field, one worksheet, and we need to figure out how to modify this field here. So it's going to be named category with mark. It's not necessarily what it's going to end up representing. So we have if category set, then this. So if you're in the category set, so I clicked on the category, I get a down arrow plus category. So I think I might be getting somewhere. So if you're also in that category set, the table name is equal to orders $, then subcategory. See what this does. Take that, Luke. Okay, this was hard to think of. I think this might be the key to everything. So one field, one sheet. So we're looking at different points, and we're kind of duplicating the data as we go. So we're working on it here, and this is kind of naturally happening for the values when you're in the set, but the other ones aren't working. So I think we're going to end up building a sales field as well, but I think we're almost there. So if we are in the category set and we're in, and the table name is orders, which is the first table that we had in our union, then we want to display the down caret and a category. And if you're in the category set, which is the one you clicked on, and you're in the other table, then we want to display the subcategory. And everything else we're going to do this right arrow and category. And we're going to end, which means anything that doesn't meet these criteria gets set to null. So I think we're almost there. So we have technology, copiers, blah, 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 blah. Something that's kind of bugging me right now is the row banding, but we'll work on that. So let's see if we can get this set action to work how it's working in the demo. So I'm going to do a worksheet action for now, and then we'll just configure this same thing on the dashboard when we get there. So clearing the selection will add all values, keeps out values. We'll see what that does. Missing values. Okay. Just going to add this category here, just so the set action will work. Okay, then we cleared it, and that added everything, which makes no sense, so that's wrong. Remove. There we go. Okay, so let's hide this category that's just there for fun. We have this. We have these right carets, which is what we want to see. We have 3 rows. I can click on technology and get this accordion view, and everything else stays the same. So we're looking great there. And if I uncheck it, things go back to normal. So I'm here, and then I have to double click, and I get back to starting point. So we are looking good. We're going to save this. I'm sorry that took a while to kind of wrap my head around, but I think we're getting close. One thing we do have to deal with right now is we have duplication. So these are the wrong numbers. And what I'm going to do is actually just take the calc from the category with mark field, which again makes no sense, but we're going to call this special sales. And then we're going to do the same thing, except for everything else, I'm going to say sales divided by 2. And this should work fine. Bang. So we're saying if you're in the category set and you're in the orders data set, then just display sales. Basically, for the one I've clicked on, since we knew that that split things out into 2 data sets anyway, we're going to just use sales. But all the other ones are still duplicated, so we need to divide it by 2, or divide it by how many unions you may have built. So this should be fine. I'm going to change the default properties to currency. We have our numbers looking just fine. I can click on that, see the breakdown, 157, 193, 20, 37, 77, 242, 95, 524. Looks good. Okay, so I think we're fine. Basically, it's just formatting at this point. So we have some kind of crazy banding going on. This is the last piece that I'm not sure. So right now, let's go ahead and close this, and we have our banding. Actually, let's open it and see if we can just format our shading to be how Luke wants it. So I can just mess around with this crap. I really don't know what I'm doing, so that's probably not going to work. Let's make this darker for the moment because we can't really tell on the recording. Huh. It's kind of strange. I don't know if we'll really get that going very well. In fact, I don't even know what the hell Luke is doing. It's kind of confusing the hell out of me. I think we might have some column banding going as well, because everything is gray, but the worksheet's clearly not gray, so a little strange. Okay, well, I'm not supposed to say this, but I think this is kind of a little, it's kind of a janky requirement. I do get that it makes it look nicer. I am going to try and build it, so let's figure this out nonetheless. Looks like we actually have something going on here that we need to fix. It's not quite right. If you can see, Luke's kind of lines up with the furniture, so he's adding some spacing here. So I'm going to just add a couple spaces when it's expanded, so those will move to the right. Well, that's not what I wanted. Still going to order them alphabetically, okay, which implies that the ASCII character comes first. This is really silly. I don't even know what to look up. Link alt character. How to make invisible character alt codes. Non-breaking spaces. Well, I don't even have my keyboard here with this functionality, so I'm just not going to be able to do that right now. I do notice here that I have a space I need to add. I need to find that blank character to add to my calculation, and I'll do that before I publish it, but I can't do it right now with my current setup. So let's figure out this banding and then get done with this. I hope this won't take very long, but it could take feasibly half an hour to figure out, but we'll see. So we have sections, right? There's only ever 4 sections to this. And I just realized something weird, that this is kind of broken out. Like there's this border here for each thing. Oh, man, this is going to be a nightmare. What happens if I add table name? Don't want to do that. I think let's just put a field up here because I want to band this whole pane. You could tell I have no idea what I'm doing with row banding. I really never even use it. Row and column banding. It's just not something I normally mess with day to day. And I don't know, I don't care about this very much. So who knows? Let's just keep moving on. Maybe we can get the row banding right, if nothing else. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're going to need to build a calculation that supports that for us. So if we duplicate this, and we're going to call this something like a banding helper. We need to break these into categories 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then get there. So it's just impossible. I'm going to try to use index. Okay, let's figure this out. So I have an idea. Let's see if this will work. Let me just type this, and then maybe I'll explain what I think I'm doing. That makes... Can I do an adder of a Boolean call? I don't think I can do this. Oh, really? I don't know what this is going to do. So I'm trying to say, okay, for all these things, either be an index or an index plus 1, because I want to kind of split these ones out, and I'm not sure what this is going to even do. So let's see. Oh my God, what in the world did I do? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not what I want. No. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry about this. This is just awful. This is kind of similar to what I wanted. Might even actually do the trick. This might be what I was looking for. I might have just got lucky. So let's try to figure out Luke's here. So we're looking at furniture, and we have kind of this whole gray thing. Don't want header banding. We do want header banding. Okay. So, ooh, that looks right. Okay, so we have one color, a whole another one, the same one as above, and bottom section. So I wonder if, let's say I close this out or just open up a new one, it alternates. So let's see what happens. So we have, doesn't really matter which one, as long as it alternates, I think is what Luke was going for. I wonder if we just set the worksheet shading to something like that, which is, it's not right. This is clearly not worksheet shading because we have a title here, we have headers here that are white. It's clearly a white worksheet. So that's not the right thing. I'm not really sure how to like make this a different shade. Maybe I'm just missing something really, really stupid, but this is correct. The only thing I don't see is how to alternate in some weird different color. Like how would I make this red or blue or whatever? Doesn't quite make sense to me. So maybe if we hit our column banding, that would alter something. But I'm still not sure. So if we have column banding, we set this to like a lighter gray. Oh, that might be the ticket. See, the row banding seems to override the rest. So let's try and figure that out. Do this really quick. I'm gonna go back to my row banding and go here and just grab that color off the screen. Okay, so that looks good. And then for our column banding, I'm going to grab the lighter color and see if we can proceed. Okay, so I have my colors right now. I just want to kind of band the whole thing, you know. I don't know. I mean, something's clearly not happening how I want it to. I don't have. I don't want the headers banded, so I kind of just need. I want to go back to this. I feel like that's the ticket, is having this one field that overrides the year. If I put that first, I thought that that would do the trick, but I guess not. Sorry, I'm so freaking flabbergasted at this right now. I can't even figure this out. That's not what we want. So the header banding is a no-go. We don't need that. What we need is column banding at the pane level that takes up the entire pane. Maybe A is not the ticket. Maybe index will do something different than A does. So if I just did that, I get these 4 separate things. I don't want that. Oh my hell. I don't know how to do it. I don't care. I'm not wasting any more time on this. It's not worth it. So gonna get it wrong. Can't do it. Don't know how. Don't know why. I'm not really worried about it because it's still the same idea. So let me hide this banding helper. Hide my field labels here and just see if we can match the formatting. So we have, get out of here, hide. Looks good. I mean, nothing really stands out as incorrect besides the banding, which again, I am not worried. I'm just going to go ahead and format the whole sheet to be 10 because it looks a little bigger on the screen here. We have no tooltips, which is easy enough. So I'm just going to go in my tooltip, turn everything off. And that looks like our table. Does the same thing, although the banding colors do not work, which I am fully owning that I cannot figure out. I think it's the same exact idea. So I have this white band, and then it goes to a gray, and then it goes to white, and then it goes to gray. In Luke's version, he has a dark gray band that goes to light gray, dark gray to light gray. It's the same idea. So I really don't know why I was even spinning my wheels trying to figure it out, because it doesn't make any difference at all, really. Because the concept and the idea is still exactly the same. So I'm actually going to consider this a win by doing less. Juice not being worth the squeeze potentially in the actual solution, and moving on with life. So this is good. Let's go put it on a dashboard, and we're just going to need to finish this up by putting the set action in the dashboard. So 500 by 600. Okay, we have that. I'm going to do this because I just always do this. Just float a vertical at the same dimensions as my view. Going to add sheet 1, week 1 sales drill down, center that. With the dash. Give this some shade of teal, I guess. Maybe a little darker. Just going to pull this down. Luke didn't give us the exact colors, so let's just try to get close enough. That looks close enough to me. We also have this down here. I wonder if I can just copy this out, which will be totally fine. Okay, and we don't have everything down there, but that's fine. We're going to show a caption. Put this in 7-point. Actually, if you want to do something, let's do something different just for fun. We're going to add a horizontal container to the bottom, which then can house 3 different text objects. So if we say Wednesday 2019 with alternating weights. Okay, and this is how you kind of get that centered look. I don't know what those little carrot things are at the bottom. I don't really worry about it. Okay, so there's our stuff. Let's just make these all be 7-point. And then in my horizontal, I'm going to distribute these evenly, and then we get everything how we want it. And this looks to be even smaller than 7. So let's go all the way down to 6 so we can fit everything in the view. Okay. I wouldn't be me unless I told you to pad this stuff. So I'm going to add some inner padding because that is just bumping too far up against the edge for my taste. I'm going to move this over, and it looks like this sheet is actually not functioning very well on 10-point font. So let's go back and modify this back down to the default settings. So we're looking pretty good. We have the table built out just the same. We have the hierarchy not working right now because we need to add a dashboard action for that set. So just going to do the same thing using my data set and configuring it the same way I did on the worksheet. So now we have our accordion look. It works the same way as the challenge states to work, and the only thing that we're missing and didn't really get was the exact colors of the row banding. And again, I'm not worried about it. I think this is fine. What I am missing here from this solution, as you're seeing it right now, is the blank space for the subcategories. I'm going to go add that once I can get to a full keyboard and get the use of my alt characters. But that's the only thing that's not here in the video. So I hope you enjoyed watching me struggle through this. I rated this a 4 on the difficulty level at the beginning of the challenge. I would probably go back and alter that rating to, I don't know if we get half points, but I'd call this slightly above average. I'm at 5.5 or 6, just because of the extension of the base data, and just that calculation was just kind of hairy and not very intuitive to build. So we're starting you out week 1 with a challenge that's going to put you out of your comfort zone, potentially. Don't let it discourage you from participating in the rest of the weeks. I promise things will get easier at times and harder at times, and it's all good. And it's all designed to help you skill up in Tableau and do better things at work and advance your career and your public presence. And this is going to help you immensely if you could just stick to it. You can always tune into these videos if you get stuck, or just reach out to any of the Workout Wednesday authors, and we'll be glad to help you along. But for this challenge today, we are done. I'm going to publish this up to YouTube and to Tableau Public, and I hope that you all had more fun and less non-hair pulling out than I did, because I do not have any. But this was definitely a head scratcher for a little while, and I enjoyed doing it. And nonetheless, let's have a good day. Start at the new year out right, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks.